Here she is, one of the only Kennedys I would actually vote for higher office. She is, of course, the former MTV VJ and author of the brand new book, The Kennedy Chronicles, The Golden Age of MTV Through Rose-Colored Glasses. Kennedy, thanks for joining us this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me, Larry.
You have a lot of revelations in this book. Back in the day when you were on MTV, you were also on with Jenny McCarthy, and now she has turned pretty political. She's on The View now, and she's got, in my opinion, she's got some pretty troublesome opinions about vaccination, stuff like that. Did she ever voice this stuff? Did she ever show any inkling of getting involved as an activist back then?
No. I mean, she showed leanings toward being an attention whore, which, of course, I celebrated.
Yes.
But, I mean, this is a woman who posed naked in Playboy.
Right,
like,
so it goes with the territory.
What sign are you hanging off the shingle than posing naked in a magazine that will last forever? So it didn't surprise me that when she realized that she got the kind of attention that she did, that she kept rolling with it. But I do disagree with her on her position. I think it's the one good thing it did is it helped people get in touch with their own rationality, and it also allowed people to go to their pediatricians and say, well, what really is in this stuff? Is there something bad in there? Because every parent did that after hearing the discussion. And, you know, if you have a good pediatrician, they explain to you exactly what is in vaccinations and when you should have them. And, you know, if you're not comfortable getting them all at once, space them out. But all the doom and gloom that she claims follows from the vaccines, it has been scientifically disproven.
Right.
It doesn't, those problems do not exist. There is autism, and that's tragic. But attacking vaccines is not the way to tackle the problem.
So now I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you basically saying that her thing that she does, this activism about vaccines and autism, it's the intellectual equivalent of her taking off a top and showing her boobs? She's just trying to get attention.
No, I don't think she's doing it just to get attention. I think she furthered the cause because she realized how much attention she was getting.
Oh, all right.
There's a subtle difference there.
Oh, and that's why I wanted to clear it up.
I believe that she believes that.
Yeah.
I believe that she has probably been brainwashed by someone or a group of people, and I disagree with her position. So
now when you were in your heyday there, what you call in your book, and by the way, the book is called The Kennedy Chronicles, The Golden Age of MTV Through Rose-Colored Glasses. The Golden Age of MTV, you know, it was what, early 90s there. There was kind of, you know, that was the grunge era. That was the Pearl Jam and the Nirvana era. It was sort of the anti-sellout mood of the 90s. You had to keep it real. And now, if you look at our pop culture today, you look at what is celebrated on MTV or on the E! Channel, you've got the Kardashians and the Paris Hilton. Are you surprised at where our pop culture has gone, considering where you came of age?
I'm never surprised at the pendulum swing. I really am not. And I can't be offended by MTV because it's not mine. It belongs to each young generation. And, you know, will someone write a book about how great MTV is 20 years from now, about this age? No, this is not the golden age of MTV, but this is what they want and this is what they get. And you know, the thing I liked about the 90s is, yeah, some of those rock stars were really precious, who were so particular about their image and everything else, and not cooperating with MTV was their form of rebellion. But it kept things interesting and really authentic. And, you know, you had to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing it just to be famous? And for most of us on MTV, the answer was, oh, hell yes.
Yeah, exactly. Our guest is former MTV VJ Kennedy. And, you know, listen, this is Washington, D.C. Everything here revolves around politics. And you actually, it's sort of funny to me because, you know, we're about the same age. And I was, you know, a libertarian-leaning Republican at the time. But when you came out of the closet as a libertarian-leaning Republican, it was huge news. Was that ironic to you? Was it bizarre that everyone was so interested and you were sort of this freak because you were in this television and music world and not a lefty liberal?
Yeah, I think it was just they thought that it was a cute contrast. But, you know, I've really held firm to my beliefs over the years. And, you know, I have been very libertarian all along. And it's funny because I get pushback from liberals and conservatives. Like, social conservatives really despise libertarians.
Yeah.
And liberals just, they see the threat coming because, we don't operate under the same emotionalism. There is a rationality to it, and that's really attractive to people in this day and age, because you're going to find a lot of people who were turned off by the Bush administration and the Obama administration. I mean, they see it essentially as the same thing.
Right.
It's big government intrusion, making decisions for them, compromising their freedom and their choices. And I'm not talking about like, let's defend the Hill, but it's, these are basic choices. I'm talking about like moms and small business owners and people who are having their rights incrementally infringed upon, and incrementally leads to huge gaps over time, and that's when it becomes very dangerous.
And your MTV colleague at the time, Kurt Loder, he has now come out as a libertarian. First of all, real quickly, did you share these ideas back in the day?
Yeah, no, Kurt was the one who pointed out to me that I'm a libertarian, because the Republicans are stupid.
Okay.
And they're mean to gay people, and I had too many gay friends to be a Republican. And that really resonated with me as I explored my own political indulgences.
Yeah.
When I left MTV, when I went and did talk radio in Seattle. And it's funny because in Seattle, the climate up there is very liberal in Seattle, but if you get outside Seattle, you find more survivalists. You find more libertarian-leaning people who, in many ways just traditionally love their country. And it was fun talking to those group of people and sort of inflaming the liberals within Seattle proper.
So, Kennedy, you say that you have stayed true to your beliefs over the years. I'm guessing a lot of your colleagues and a lot of your friends at the time, they have now matured. They have, many of them have probably become parents. Do you find now some of them coming back to you and saying, you were right about some stuff back then? People find the nice thing about it is people aren't going party by party; they're going issue by issue. Yeah.
And I don't find a lot of people say like, "I'm a Democrat," but people do say, "Oh, I'm really intrigued by school choice. We don't have enough choices. What's the libertarian position on that?" Or my taxes are so high; they just keep going up. What are they going to?
Yeah.
And
so it's about ideas.
Say, I wish I paid more taxes because
right.
I'm getting so much for my money.
Yeah, you don't hear that very often at all. All right, Ken. I have to throw this out there. My executive producer, the great Heather Smith, happens to be.
I love Heather Smith. She's gorgeous, by the way.
Who doesn't? She is in love with Gavin Rossdale of Bush, the band Bush. Do you have any Gavin stories to tell?
Yeah, I almost helped your friend Heather Smith out because when I was interviewing Gwen Stefani on the phone for Spin Magazine. I was the first person to interview them on TV in the U.S. because there just weren't a lot of media outlets at the time when No Doubt came out with Tragic Kingdom. And I told her not to date Gavin because she had just started dating Gavin. I was like, he's got a reputation. Protect your heart.
Really?
Gwen was such a pure person. I was like, he's Bad News Bears, and it was totally the wrong advice. It was horrible advice.
Wow. So you were almost instrumental in breaking up the love story that was Gavin Rossdale and Gwen Stefani, and of course Heather Smith would have benefited from that.
Yes, she would.
Because she's next in line. She is Talk Radio's Gwen Stefani.
That's right.
All right. Kennedy, a former MTV VJ. By the way, the book is out there. It's available. It's doing great. Kennedy Chronicles the Golden Age of MTV through rose-colored glasses. So great to have you, and an honor to meet you.
I really appreciate it. You're so sweet.
Thanks, Kennedy.